Now that we've discussed the 3 different levels of prototyping, and you've watched a video about different types of low-fidelity prototyping, let's take a look at what these prototypes actually look like. So let's explore the question, what do low and mid-fidelity prototypes look like? Now, there are some key differences to how we build out a low-fidelity prototype versus a mid-fidelity. Let's talk through some of the examples of how these two are different. A low-fidelity prototype focuses on creating step-by-step user scenarios that tell a story about how the user walks through the app. In a mid-fidelity prototype, we review these user scenarios to determine how the users will interact with each and every screen that we build out. The materials that we use to prototype a low versus a mid are also different from each other. For low-fidelity prototypes, as talked about in the Google video, we use paper, post-it notes, pens, and pencils. Simple materials just to get the gist of what our design actually looks like. But in a mid-fidelity prototype, we bump this up into a digital space where we utilize digital software that helps us build out the look and feel of the actual screens. Now, the final difference between a low and mid-fidelity prototype is that a low fidelity drafts out the basic layout of each screen. It has us think through how each of the screens relate to other screens, such as the navigation between the screens. We saw this in the Google video where they created wireframes to show when you click on certain areas, what is the next screen that will appear. Now, in a mid-fidelity prototype, we turn this basic layout into a realistic-looking interactive screens where the user can perform actions. They can, in the case of an mHealth app, tap, swipe, etc., which allows the users to navigate through the app as if it were fully functioning. Now let's take a look at what these low-fidelity and mid-fidelity prototypes might look like. Here's a low and mid-fidelity prototype for my sleep app that I'm calling iSleep. As you can see on the left-hand side, the low-fidelity prototype is hand-drawn on an index card, and it includes the act of manually interacting with these index cards. So you can see here it's drawn with pencil and paper, and a user can simply click on those different checkboxes and then place their finger on the submit box. I would then place a second index card in front of them that would show the next screen that would appear. But with a mid-fidelity prototype, you can see that the look and feel of it is digital, interactive, and it simulates what the app might look like. It also tends to enhance the design in some way. So you can notice in my first low-fidelity prototype, for the current feelings, I only included some of the negative feelings, tired, mentally foggy, and headache. But upon reviewing this and talking through it with other people, I found it's important to also include some positive feelings and symptoms. So you'll notice on the right-hand side, of my mid-fidelity prototype, we have well-rested, mentally clear, and no aches. I did this as well for the previous night's activities. I had the ones that tend to interfere with sleep, like watching TV, drinking alcohol, drinking caffeine. But on the right-hand side, I also included the positive ones: read a book, drink tea, do yoga or meditation. So you can see how when going from low fidelity to mid-fidelity, it can make you think through the design. And then mid-fidelity helps us actually visualize what these screens might look like in a final app.